Yep, IR.
Welcome to the May 21st, 2026 Rainbow Lakes Estates Advisory Board Meeting. We ask that you silence electronic devices and step outside to take calls. Outbursts or interruptions are not permitted. Please take your seat and help us maintain a respectful and productive meeting, and thank you for being here. Agenda and public comment guidelines. Registered speakers have 5 minutes. Those signing up at the door will have 2 minutes. Non-agenda items may be addressed during the public comment section of the meeting, which is towards the end. Please state your name, address, and submit any supporting documents to the district office staff. Keep in mind that anything that you turn in and any remarks that are made will become part of the public record. Respectful conduct reminder. Personal attacks against staff, board members, or volunteers will not be tolerated. Please keep your comments respectful within your time limit and focused on meeting-related issues. Thank you. Board meeting conduct for members and guests. If you wish to speak with someone in the audience during the meeting, please address the chair first. Direct conversations with board members or public speakers is allowed during the agenda or general public comment portions without going through the chair. Thank you for helping us maintain a respectful and orderly environment. All right, let's bow our heads. O Holy One, known by many names, we thank you for every seat filled here today and for each mind and heart gathered in this room. You alone know what we are here to accomplish. We have our plans, ideas, talents, and time, but only you see the full picture in every life. We thank you that nothing is in vain, and that even our mistakes can be used for good. Strengthen our confidence in who you created us to be, and free us from comparison so that we may work together with unity and purpose. Bless this meeting, those present, all those residents, volunteers, and employees of Rainbow Lakes Estates. May our efforts today ripple outward in ways that uplift and serve others in our community. Amen. Can we stand for the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
In Katie and Jennifer's absence, could you please call roll?
Dan Wilshusen,
Present.
George McKay,
Present?
Amber Bonlander, present. Kathy Bryant, John Connor,
Present.
Steve Stritzinger,
Right here.
William Overbeck.
Present.
All right, I do have a quick announcement that I wanted to make today, just so that it is on record. Some may know, some may not, but I wanted to give Tiffany Richardson a special thanks for her years of dedication and support to Rainbow Lakes Estates community and the board. I, among, I think, many, will miss her. I do wish her well and the best in the future and in her new endeavors. I hope everybody got a chance to review the minutes. If there are no changes or modifications, if I could get a motion for approval in a second. I have a motion by Kathy.
I will second.
Okay, I have 2 seconds. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, it passes. Moving on to the advisory board reports. For Levy County, it's pretty simple and easy. We don't have any new code violations. However, we still are processing about 4 or 5 of them that are out there. Our roads are in great shape right now. I did see an issue, it's not on the Levy County side, but on Marion County, Big Bear, and Sea Cliff. We have some major potholes going on there. As far as public safety, all signs and markings and everything are still in good shape out there. So as far as Levy County goes, we're good. Alan, did you want to, or George, Sorry.
It's all right. That's my legal name.
I know.
For the month of March, there were a total of 59 fire and rescue incidents, including 6 incidents at Station 14. I want to let you know that I have stepped into the 21st century, and my report is now AI approved. So, while we have not received a new update from the Florida Department of Transportation, construction on the new traffic signal is progressing. New wiring and installation boxes have been sited, and the necessary funding has been authorized. I'd like to extend my sincere thanks and congratulations to Tiffany Richardson. I wish she was here because I'd love to give her a hug. For her dedicated service to our community, Tiffany has been an invaluable resource, and her extensive knowledge of our development has been a tremendous asset to the advisory board, myself, the administration, and the public. We wish her the very best in her future endeavors. She will be greatly missed. We had another dangerous speeding incident involving a hit and run where a pedestrian was struck by a truck's mirror. Fortunately, no serious injuries were sustained, but this serves as a critical reminder that hit and run is a serious crime. Please drive safely and remain mindful that your actions impact the lives of everyone on the road. Finally, please remember, as I try to do every time, if you see something, report it. We can help keep our corner of the county safe and beautiful by documenting and reporting all suspicious or criminal activity to the proper authorities. And that's my report.
Thank you, George. Amber, do you have anything for this evening?
No, I
Okay, Kathy.
All the programs that are offered here at Rainbow Lakes Estates for residents is low, free of charge. The special event on June the 5th from 6 to 8 p.m. is the community center. It's a fun evening with hamburgers and hot dogs. It's free to the residents. Morning Miles is an age fitness program open to walkers and runners of all ability levels. It takes place every Tuesday at 8:30 a.m. in Seacliff Park, free to residents. Special program update. June the 9th will be a field trip walk at Denellen Trailhead. Meeting at Seacliff Park, first at 8:30 a.m. and then heading to the trail. Directions will be posted on Facebook and a handout the next morning. Maker's Monday is an adult crafting lunch every third Monday from 10 until 12 at the community center. It is free.
Can you pull that closer to you? Thank you.
Now, where was I? Yeah.
Maker's Monday.
Yep, Maker's Monday. It's an adult crafting every third Monday from 10 until 12 at the community center. It is free or low cost depending on what the feature activity is. The next Maker Monday is on June the 15th. The activity is wood burning crafts. And July the 20th, the activity is making acrylic teapot toys. Both months will be no charge. Coffee and conversation is an opportunity for residents to meet at the Rainbow Lakes State staff and discuss ideas, enjoy coffee and light snacks every second Wednesday of the month from 10 until 11. The next one is June the 10th. And that will be followed by July the 8th. Adult Night Out is an after-hours adult program featuring themed activities, games, and community fun. It takes place every first Thursday of the month from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. The next one is Bingo Night on June the 4th at the community center, and then July the 2nd will be the Trivia Night at the clubhouse. Plant Swap is every third Tuesday from 4 to 5 p.m. at the community center, where residents can bring a plant, take a plant, and share gardening trips with fellow plant enthusiasts. Beginning June the 3rd, the Youth Center will operate as a summer hangout during the summer months with special special themed activities for youth. The schedule is Wednesdays will have indoor activities being games and challenges. Thursdays will be more indoor activities and crafts, and Friday will be outdoor play and water activities. The hours will be Wednesday through Friday, 1 to 5 p.m. This program is free to all residents and non-residents. Please note that the youth center will be closed Friday, July the 3rd, in observation of the Independence Day. Tater tots on Thursdays are from 10 until 12 at the community center for a fun interactive program for little ones and their caregivers, free and open to the public. The rentals, the buildings in the pavilions are rentable for residents with a discounted fee. You call the district office and get that information. Kayak rental is available Monday through Friday from 8 to 4. The rental is $25 for 4 hours and $5 for each additional hour. We have a wonderful fitness center, and it's open to residents 24/7. The building is very spacious and clean. Registration appointments are available at the district office. The annual fee is $25 per person. The community clubs, the Fiber Craft Society meets on the second and fourth Saturday from 12 to 3 p.m. at the Creative Arts Center. They knit, crochet, and other fiber craft activities. Contact Jennifer Coca at 352-322-9682. Now, I'm told that this next one is going to be canceled. Yeah. Pins and Needles Stitchers Club meets on Mondays from 10 until 2 at the Creative Arts Center. Contact Marcy McKay. Poker Club meets on Tuesdays and Fridays from 11 to 3 p.m. at the Creative Arts Center. Contact Larry Hoffman for that. Domino's Club meets on Fridays at 7 p.m. at the clubhouse. Angel Cullen, contact for that. The Garden Club meets on the second Tuesday of every month at the community center at 1 p.m. And you can contact Teresa at 352-342-0862. Dungeons and Dragons Club meets on the second and fourth Fridays at 6:30 at the Creative Arts Center. Contact David Harris, 352-445-1887. The Dance Club meets on the second and last Wednesday of the month at 6:30 p.m. at the Community Center. Kay Black, comment? Anyway, I slaughtered her name, sorry. 352-228-2392. The general club fees are $10 for residents and $15 for non-residents. One fee includes all the clubs for that year. Yep, that's it.
Okay, thank you. John, do you have anything to report on buildings and grounds? Anything
No, nothing
that we need to be aware of? No? Okay. Steve, you want to go next?
have nothing to report.
Okay, did you look into the code regarding the signage on the sides of the roads?
I read some of the stuff about it, and I want to talk to both code enforcement and also to some other people.
Okay.
So I'm working on that.
And Will, do you have anything on roads?
I do not have anything to report.
Okay. All right, Chad, this goes to the municipal services and RLE staff reports. And do you have anything for us? I'm hoping. Yes? No. Chad.
I believe Chad does all agenda items, but I do have the staff report.
Okay, perfect.
One moment. And Jennifer and Katie's.
Thank you, Katie. I'm sitting here marking off because I'm like, oh, I had Jennifer on here. She's out for the day. It's a Katie Burton, Community Manager. Please fire away.
Yes, so I do have our staff report, starting with program attendance for the month of March, we had 240, month of April, we had 225. At the youth center, we had 58 in March, 27 in April. Tabletop Thursdays was 16 for March and 50 for April. Morning Miles was 36 and 38 for April. Makers Monday was 6 in March, 10 in April. Adult Night Out was 2 in March, 6 in April. Plant Swap was 14 in March and 16 in April. Domino Club was 50 for March, 37 for April. Dance Club was 10 for March and 8 for April. Dungeons and Dragons was 20 for March and 13 for April. Fiber Craft Society was 20 for March and 27 for April. Garden Club 15 in March, 16 in April. Pens and Needles Club was 26 in March, 25 in April. Poker Club 39 and 25. There was no meet and eat during these months. And special event, I have 180 for in March. So total participation for the month of March was 590 and 310 for April. So for general government expenses year to date, we have 379,000. Revenues 293,000 for a balance of 86,161. RLE Recreation Fund is 41,000 expenses, 277,000 in revenues for a balance of 236,284. And for Road and Street, we have expenses at 633,000, revenues at 707,000 for a balance of 74,360. Work orders for the month of April, we have 29 completed with 8 remaining open. Year to date, we have 103 completed with 12 remaining open. For rentals booked, the community center has 16 rentals, the pavilion has 13 rentals, and the clubhouse has 6.
I have one question.
Okay.
On the
You have one.
rentals, first I want to give kudos to Bill and his group on the work orders. This is looking great. On the community center and pavilion rentals, well, let's include the clubhouse since we're all back online again. I'm looking at the numbers. Can you give me just off the cuff if you know where we are with completed rentals?
I do not know. I know we have them last weekend. I don't know how many of those are still future date.
Okay, thank you.
I can find out.
That'd be great.
I have a question. Okay. On the expenses, we're taking the revenue and we're subtracting the expenses to get the balance, is that correct? Okay, so if we get to the first line, is that,
This includes encumbrances.
I didn't hear what you said.
This does include encumbered expenses or POs written that haven't been expended yet.
Okay. Sort of understand. Okay, that's fine, I just, see what I'm saying?
Yeah, the math is a little off, but it's because of the encumbrances that are sitting on the books currently. These are contracts, POs, work for service that are still, they haven't completed, but they're still pending. So the amounts don't always line up correctly, dollar for dollar.
Okay. And then I have one more question.
Absolutely.
Is it possible to get the staff report like January through the current month so we can see the flow of what each club is doing every single month instead of just having the 2 months?
Okay.
And then at some point if it becomes too monotonous, but
I was going to ask, can we do that request on a quarterly?
sure. And then, I mean, let's start with the quarter. I'm just really interested to see.
Absolutely, and so am I, because that ricochets right off of what Amber works on as far as the finances for the budget versus expense. So that's why I was saying, I mean, I'm not shutting you down on it, but
No.
if quarterly would work for you, I think that would be,
I think it adds, it would give us the opportunity to see where we might be falling short promoting this community.
okay,
And then put more of an effort into promoting that community.
okay,
This community, our community, where we can see that in April we die every single time. So what are we missing in April? And start
Okay.
promoting more in March.
all right, so so I get where he's going with it, we're trying to build a matrix, I guess, if that'll work for you.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Kate.
I want this feedback on the staff report. This is a relatively new thing we've been doing, so as we can change
Yeah,
it,
and I love
tweak
it.
it to our goals.
I do, I really like it, because I'm even shocked March through April, because this is that window where a lot of our snowbirds head home, and I'm looking to see these programs start to drop, and in a lot of the cases, the programs are actually growing, so that is good to see.
Absolutely.
Yes?
I agree, and,
Yeah.
and we're starting to see more younger clubs, and I think we're seeing more younger involvement.
Yes, I agree.
So that's really good.
Yeah. Thank you, Katie.
Thank you.
All right, is that it from ops, or from, okay, so now it's on to operations.
Yes, the road crews have been working hard. We have, starting in April, we did start the mowing season cycle. We've already completed over 400 miles of roads mowed, and we got about 250 miles left. We will be doing 6 cycles this year planned.
Great.
So you should see us mowing for the rest of the summer. We did do some pothole patches over on Northwest Redwood and Aspen. Like Katie said, we closed out 39 work orders this month. We're definitely increasing that. You can remember November, December of last year, we were 10, 12, now we're working at 40, so the guys are working really hard. We've been working with code enforcement. We had some illegal dumping on Northwest Holly. They got that removed, and we've had some increased trash from the new homes where they're kind of dumping their stuff. So we're working with code enforcement to kind of make those people understand that they can't.
Awesome,
They can't keep
awesome,
doing that.
awesome. Thank you.
We have replaced a couple stop signs and some speed signs. And the only major road project we're coming up with right now for the rest of this year is going to be Ivy. The subgrade is failing, and Pete's identified it as it's going to quickly go down. So we're going to be right outside the where the firehouse is. So we're
Okay,
gonna be doing that.
the only issue I have with that is the expenses on this. Is this going to be an impact to our already existing 5-year plan for roads?
It is going to have a change to the 5-year plan, but it's something we can't wait on.
Okay.
Pete's identified it as an emergency repair that we're going to have to do.
Right, and
It's not going to last 5 years.
Exactly, and I know it's not. It's also not a registered truck route, so this is
Right.
going to be on us.
Yeah. So what I can do is get with Pete and get some numbers and stuff and get with you on that.
That'd be great.
Kind of show you where we're heading towards.
Yeah, as you can see, because our roads and maintenance budget is already extremely tight, even though a lot of that is encumbered funds, so.
Yeah. Pete, when I did talk to Pete, he said that, the funds were there for it, so he didn't seem to be worried about it. But like I said, I can get you the numbers where he's looking at so that you understand where we're going forward.
Absolutely, thank you.
Yep, that's all I have.
Do we have a timeline when that Ivy work is supposed to start?
I don't have one right now, but I can report by on the next meeting when we're gonna be looking to do that. We gotta go through the process of bids and stuff like that.
Okay. Again, tough. Are we talking 2 months, 3 months?
Sooner than later, probably before the end of the next, before October.
Yeah, because this is going to have a direct impact on you. So, we
Does,
need.
it hurts.
Yeah, we
It's
need to
okay.
keep him in the loop on this.
Yeah, like I said, I'll get with Pete and make sure exactly what he's thinking on what the timelines and the how much funding it's gonna cost, and I'll get that to you before the start of the next budget.
Okay.
The meeting start.
All right, that works for me. Does that work for you, Steve?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Officer Moore, or Lieutenant?
I had a question for him. With the pothole repairs, how many of that is proactive, the crews are finding it, or reactive from citizens calling in?
I don't know off the top of my head. I do know if they find it, they generate a work order and fill the potholes. I don't know how many are getting called in, but I can find that out for you and let you know.
Okay, and I was also curious if a lot of them's in front of new construction, maybe we should be having, hypothetically, if they are in front of a new house being built, we should make sure the contractors are paying for that instead of
If it's,
us?
if we could tell it's damage from a contractor, you know, that's something we could try to look into to see, if that's something that, I know that they had a big damage road out here, and we're working with them to get that, for them to pay that, but, if it's, if it's a standard pothole that we're just gonna fill, I don't think we're gonna go, but if we could see like, oh yeah, they put their legs down for their, vehicle and it damaged the roadway, we definitely should be going after them for that type of thing, if we can.
I believe in the past that code enforcement and building permits have ensured that any damage that's been located at the new construction was repaired prior to giving a statement of occupancy. So they've been really good at that, making sure that that happened.
That was my understanding
Yeah,
too.
they've been, really good. And then Ivy was the big one that the county went after for the construction. And they did a whole lot of fixing up there.
Okay. Is that it?
That's all I got.
We good? Okay, Lieutenant Moore.
For us, pretty much is the same as last month. They're still out there doing traffic enforcement. When I pulled the numbers, they're still doing a little bit over 100 from last month. We were up to 5 DUIs this month. The last DUI was actually last weekend, and it was a gentleman riding around on a four-wheeler on the paved roads with a 3-year-old. And it was his 4th offense, so it was a felony. Plus he had felony suspended license, so we charged him with that, and also charged him with child endangerment. So even last weekend for the DUI. And then some of the other ones, we had one more felony, the other 2 were just regular misdemeanors. One was a first offense, and the other one was a second offense. But other than that, they've been trying to keep on top of the traffic. My biggest thing for this month, if you can let everybody know that school is getting out.
Yes.
And because school's getting out, I need everybody to lock their doors and their driveways. Because this is that time of year that for some reason we see a very high uptake in vehicle burglaries. And the MO is basically they just check the handles, and if they're unlocked, they go inside. If they're locked, they move on to the next car. So having your car locked will pretty much prevent them, it'll get them to move on to the next one. But every summer, across the entire county, no matter what neighborhood you're in, we usually have an uptake in it.
Got it. Definitely. I did have one more question for you.
Yes, sir.
Early on, you had talked about some missing speed signs through our area.
I talked to Sergeant Batts, he told me that they were up, and I asked him if he can give me the locations.
Yeah.
I haven't heard back from him, but
Okay.
he's also been in command school, and he just finished motorcycle school too. So.
It's still on our tickler too, so
Okay.
I just
Yes,
want to make
okay.
sure that both parties follow through on this so that we can assist you in the enforcement process. Since we're getting a lot of the complaints about the speeding through here, and that was one of the items that we had talked about, or that you had brought up, is that enforcement becomes difficult without proper signage, so, and that lands on us.
Yeah.
So,
And he assured me, when I talked to him a couple of weeks ago, it was about a month ago, he said that they were up, but he said he would give me the addresses, and I just haven't got it.
okay.
And the enforcement side of it, you're talking about Seacliff, with potholes, that, I can almost guarantee you.
Yeah, well, you are not in charge of the condition of the roads, just
No.
how they're used.
What I'm saying is all those trucks going in there with the weight that they have
Yeah.
and the high speeds they have is going to wear out a road so much quicker.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why we're trying to do a lot of enforcement on the rock trucks and all that stuff, because we know how much that damage road is.
Exactly, exactly. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right, we have another special guest committee here, and that is the Marion County Code Enforcement. Would you like to come up, introduce?
Sure. I'm Code Enforcement Manager Robin Huff.
Do me a favor.
You need me on?
Yeah, just- Oh, perfect. Somebody give the lady a microphone.
Hello. I'm Marion County Code Enforcement Manager Robin Huff. I have been with the county in this department for over 29 years, just to give you a little background. My report to you today is that for the previous year, we handled 63 investigations in the Rainbow Lakes Estates community. This year, so far, we're up to 42 complaints that we're investigating so far this year. Our biggest topics tend to be accumulations of junk or unserviceable vehicles on private property, as well as littering. If you have any questions or...
So I'll start with questions.
Just because I'm like, well, this may take a minute.
So, it only took a second. All right, Robin, nice to meet you. We've met about 6 years ago, or more than that before. Can you go over the process of an individual homeowner calling in a complaint and what your office actually does, sequence, and how long the process is sometimes to get action taken?
Right. So, under state law, we can no longer take investigation or conduct investigations based on an anonymous complaint. So anybody wishing to make a complaint about their neighbor or something going on in their area must give us their address, physical address, and their name. We don't use P.O. boxes for addresses. Basically, that's still, to us, it's anonymous. We open up the complaint, we assign it to the code officer. Typically, the code enforcement officer would get out to start their investigation within 2 working days from when the complaint was called in or received. Sometimes we get them via email. Once the officer observes that violation, we make a diligent effort to make contact with the property occupant and or owner if they're not one and the same. Try to educate them on what the violation is, make some suggestions or recommendations on how they might clear their violations. The state statute requires us to give somebody a reasonable time to clear their violation. We're not required to give you more than 30 days to clear your violation, but depending upon what the violation is, if it includes getting a building permit, meeting some setbacks, going through a site plan review, those processes can take longer. We can sometimes get violations cleared within a couple days. Sometimes it can take a couple months. When we are met with no compliance, or we're dealing with somebody who is absentee from a property, we may end up having to take the case in front of our code enforcement board. The code enforcement board hears testimony from the county as well as our photographic evidence. If the respondent or an agent for the respondent is there at the hearing, they can tell the board what their circumstances are. They can ask for more time. Worst case scenario is we end up, the board ends up imposing a fine against somebody, and that fine could eventually become a lien recorded with the clerk of courts. It could impede their getting permits for, to do any kind of work on their property. We go from there.
So at various times for like somebody parking in the right of way, by the time that the homeowner makes that complaint, and by the time that your investigators get out there, a lot of times that individual, that tractor trailer or whatnot's already moved, and there's absolutely nothing that you guys can do about it because there's no vehicle there. But then the following weekend, they cycle back through the whole process again. I've seen that we see the same trucks parking in the same place, and we know that they're getting called in, but we also understand that when you guys come out there on Monday or Tuesday, they're already gone making that run. So that's some of the problems that code enforcement has to deal with.
I'm glad you brought that up, because we have an officer on, they have to work one weekend day a month, but when we know that there's a pattern to the parking, so if you tell us that the truck only comes in on Friday evenings after 6 o'clock and it leaves on Sunday, we will make sure that we get a code officer out here to look for it.
You like that, don't you? I got 2 more.
I'm loving this.
Okay, you got 2 more. All right. So thank you very much. So my next question is, I know we're in a rural area, But it's my understanding we're not allowed to have cows on property here within Rainbow Lakes. Are we allowed to have goats?
So there are some properties, like a little enclave of agricultural zone property, like in the middle, I don't remember the name of the road.
It's in the middle.
Obi Ridge.
It's in the middle,
Yeah.
Obi Ridge and all that. It's by the subway.
Right, so a parcel that has an agricultural zoning is allowed to have cows, goats, horse, sheep, ratites, chickens, ducks, turkeys. If your property is zoned residential, you can only have a cow if you have a special use permit, but then there are also 4-H and FFA exemptions. So if you have a child that is in one of those programs and they've done all the paperwork with their, whichever organization they're with, their director, and they file that paperwork with our zoning department, they could end up having a goat in the backyard during the school year or for this, I call it a season. So typically these animals are taken to a fair
Right.
and shown at fairs sometimes.
So if the individual does the paperwork for school, we can have goats and theoretically cows on the property here. But most of those people that have goats here are older people, just like everybody sitting around
Right.
here. So that's
Report it to us and we'll go out and
well,
address it.
yeah, that's one of the things. And then just lost my train of thought.
You
Yeah.
said signs?
Goats and signs. Oh, so you want to talk about so code enforcement enforces the county and state codes. County codes on the residents, and all the codes are already posted up there. We can all go read them and see.
Oh, trust me, I've had to, because Marion's is a little bit different than Levy's. It's like, your process is much cleaner, much quicker. The Levy County process, there is no board. When it gets to that point, it goes before the magistrate. And usually in that case, you are going to be levied with a fine.
So when staff and the maintenance, we'll call maintenance staff, when those find a violation, that violation is reported through the county, and that violation is anonymous, correct? So when staff finds a violation within and our maintenance guys are driving around filling in potholes, and they see something that violates what they believe is code.
Right.
When they report that, are they reporting that themselves with their own home address and all the rest of that stuff?
I will tell you that when we get a complaint referred to us from our office of the county engineer, it may be one of their right-of-way inspectors. We use their name because they're the person who saw it, but we use their business address because it was during the course of their business.
Okay.
And we make that their address in the complaint.
And then my last question is, we have a dog rescue and a cat rescue here within the area. Are they within compliance?
It's been a little while since I've looked into that. I know if it's the place I'm thinking of, we do have fines or liens against the property for operating that organization in a residential area improperly. But it's been a little while since I've looked at the status of that, that case. I'd have to look at it again. I know she bought property further north,
Morriston, I believe.
in Morriston
Yeah.
zip code, but still in Marion County. So I'd have to look into that. It's been a minute since that's been front and center for my office.
I would assume that since she's not front and center, that violation has been taken care of.
I'd have to check.
Just adjudicated. Yeah, I know. So I see it every.
Yeah, I think it's, I don't know how you would phrase it, so correct me if I'm mistaken. But as far as the process, it's been adjudicated, the fines and penalties have been levied, and they're still remaining out there as far as I'm concerned, or as far as I understand.
I'd have to look at our records to see whether or not she's
Correct.
claiming that the animals that are remaining on that property are part of her rescue, or if now they're just her personal pets.
So, then last one I have two questions. One is, Marion County still doesn't have a grass height requirement. Is that correct?
Correct.
So your grass can be as high as you want it, and it can be,
The closest thing we have is what we call our abandoned vacant property ordinance, and it is only applicable to properties that are in foreclosure. So if the bank is filed for a foreclosure action and the occupants and or owners have moved off the property, nobody's living there, then the mortgage company is responsible for maintaining the property. No graffiti, no litter, mowing the grass and things like that. If the property's not in foreclosure, no, we do not have any other ordinance that kicks in for grass height.
and then my last question is, how big is your staff, and how are they broken down? How many people over here on our side of the county?
So I have, we've divided the county up into 10 pie slices. And I have 2 code officers that deal just with unsafe structure abatements. And we have 1 code officer that is assigned to the area, including Rainbow Lake Estates.
So we have one officer that's here Monday through Friday, and one weekend.
Throughout her zone. So she's got a pie wedge,
Uh-huh.
and Rainbow Lake Estates is
Happens to be
part
in
of
that.
her area, yes.
That's pretty much all mine. Does anybody else have any good
I
questions?
do. Could you give us this, the rundown on signage, you know? It started off as political signage. We're not talking about politics here, okay? We're talking about that type of signage on the roadways and on the sides.
Okay, so the only signs that are allowed within the right-of-way, and a lot of people don't understand what the right-of-way is. So when you're looking at a paved road through wrong subdivision, Rainbow Lake Estates, you're looking at a paved road, there's a little bit of grass on this side of the paved road, and a little bit of grass on this side of the paved road, and that entire width is called the right-of-way. No signs are allowed in the right-of-way that aren't for government use. So we're talking speed limit, traffic control, things like that. You see a lot of realty signs and roofing signs and what we call snipe signs. So they're like this little plastic corrugated plastic sign on a little wire wicket, and you see them all up and down the road. Every one of them is illegal and considered litter. And you could be issued a citation for the littering. But the code officers, we tend to just pick them up, throw them in the back of the truck, and throw them in the garbage at the dump. However, when we start getting plastered by one particular company, or any one company starts plastering our roadways with these, we start writing notices of violation, and we have taken several to our code enforcement board, and we have put fines against them.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Wow. Okay, and just for clarification, do you happen to know what off of the road, what is considered that?
It could vary depending upon the use of the road. So, and I'm just guessing, Rainbow Lakes Boulevard, it might be 60 feet once you get past that little divided area at the entrance, whereas something like Sea Cliff might only be 50 feet. We'd have to look at the plat map and or the GIS interactive map. You can sometimes find that information on the interactive map, but most of it's tucked away in the plat maps.
Okay, all right.
So on the island of entrance on the boulevard, are we considered a government? Is Rainbow Lakes Estates considered a government? And so if they are considered a government, can we put a sign on the island there with the proper approval? That'd be my question.
I'm going to say it's probably going to depend on what the signage is for, what it says.
That's kind of what I thought.
If it's not,
Well, I think there's setbacks, like we can't put it on the far island because there's a 14-foot setback that blocks the view.
Correct.
So we can't put it there, but if we put it forward of the island or at the very beginning of the very first island,
So
I mean-
if it's not a traffic control device or a speed limit,
It would be an information sign that says board meeting tonight.
yeah, no, that's not, probably not going to fit the bill. If it were like the H sign advertising that the hospital is in that direction or something like that, or that there's a boat ramp,
It's like the sign that's out there that says, community center well, I don't even know what it says anymore, but it, talks about the district office being 12 miles down, down Rainbow Lakes Boulevard.
street signs, things
Yeah.
like that.
So we're back to square one, which is we're back to paperwork and somebody else being nice to us.
Exactly.
I do appreciate it. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yes, thank you. I mean, that was a lot of information. Greatly appreciated. Thank you.
So who's coming next month? Not that I want this to end. I think this is great. I really do. I think this is amazing. You're the first person that we've had out here to talk about what they do for the county and an interaction with us, the board, and also our residents and a county official. I think it's great. I'm just curious what's next.
We always have our sheriff, though.
I know you do that. It's good. So is the dog catcher coming up next month?
Next month is budget meeting, but then July, yes, animal services is on my list. I have a list though, so don't worry.
I don't. I'm just excited.
I know, you're like a child. You're so giddy.
I love the information.
All right, let's move on. Sorry, Steve. On our agenda items, under old business, this is one that I like near and dear with. The clubhouse final project costs. Do we have those?
I do.
Oh, yay.
I'm pulling up the exact, I know you're gonna want that.
Just don't give me the pennies, please. We're not admitting them, and I'm not counting them anymore.
No more pennies.
No.
The original PO was for $234,850. Our final actual cost was $231,739.
I'm sorry, repeat. I got the first, 234,850.
Yep, final cost $231,739.
So $3,000.
Wait,
$231,000.
but wait, there's more.
It gets better.
We are just about there. I am going to make a request somehow, some way, before the next meeting, because I really would like the commissioners to walk through the revised building. I'd like to get the patch and paint complete
Okay,
in the kitchen.
okay,
I want this to be a done project before those people walk through it.
okay.
I'm sorry, I hate to be like.
Is there a hole in it? We go in there every week, so.
It's on the ins, you can't see it in the hallway. You can only see it from the kitchen side, so if you walked into the kitchen where they replaced the door going to the hallway, that whole frame around the wall needs to be sanded, painted. And then there was some other spots on the back wall that needed the same thing.
Is staff gonna do this, or are we gonna send this out to contract?
I'm hoping staff can do it.
Yeah, we will add it to Miguel's work plan.
Okay.
What are we doing with the $3,000 extra dollars?
Well,
Hardy.
No, I don't want to party hardy. Did we already pay for the ice machine for the maintenance?
The maintenance, that's a different fund, but yes, that maintenance did get their ice machine.
Yeah, maintenance got theirs, but that was something I was going to bring up with Katie about the replacement for the clubhouse. Because it's got one in it, but it has now failed, so we need to replace that one.
It's already, the order's already in process.
It is.
It is.
That is fabulous news. I wasn't sure if that had been placed.
Yes.
And is this another item that can be installed in-house, or are we going to need to?
It should be, yes.
Okay, I just don't want to get caught with this one.
Yeah.
So I don't know, I mean, it's like, we're not gonna take a bid for this, but do we have a service provider that we can call on if need be?
We do have one if we need to.
Thank you.
Did we pay for that ice machine out of the $3,000?
No, that was a bar from another fund. I don't have which one.
Yes, that leads to this question. We have $3,000, great, I love it. How much extra money do we have, and is it accounted for?
Okay, the extra 3,000, you have to understand, that does not go back into our operating budget. Those dollars came out of the capital budget.
Did it shoot
So
back into the capital budget?
correct, so it'll go back into the capital budget so that it can be used on the future projects, which we have one coming up on, the Creative Arts Center.
Okay.
So that all we're doing is, great, we finished our project below budget, good on us. However, those dollars don't get to be moved someplace else, they have to remain in capital.
I just want to know, I mean, we're now going to take that money and put it against the clubhouse? Or?
It goes against the Creative Arts Center now.
Okay, I'm sorry. Creative Arts.
You're fine.
So I called it the wrong thing. It made no sense.
No, that's okay, because guess what's next on this list?
Bingo.
I think everybody received copies of plans for the renovations or revisions to the Creative Arts Center. And I don't know, Chad, are you going to
Sure.
talk about this?
Absolutely. So the first page there, because the building was so old, we did not have plans for it. So the engineer did a set of as-built. So the first page is the way that the building currently sits. If you look on the second page, it looks a tad bit overwhelming, but that's explaining to you exactly what they're proposing. And so if you can look, obviously there where it says D2, you can read down here, D2 is removing existing walls or portions of wall, floor to ceiling, so that way you kind of get an idea of what the actual project entails. On the third page, that would give you a better idea of what it's going to look like. This was, when we asked the engineer or architect to give us recommendation, we asked him to give us the most cost-efficient plan to give us exactly what everybody wanted. And so this is what they came up with. I really like it because it gives us 3 separate spaces to rent out or use. It also gives space number 3 is a very large space for the quilt club, which we know has a lot of, they have to spread
Pins
out.
and needles.
I'm sorry. Pins and needles. I apologize. Okay.
Careful, because she could throw them.
That much fair. But it still allows each one of those rooms to be accessed separately, or they can be accessed internally with the doors in between, but then they can access the bathrooms will now be internal. through a
That's what I
hallway.
wanted to know, because it's like I'm looking at the plan and I see a broken line at the wall.
Yes, sir. And I wish I had a big screen here where I can.
I just want to make sure that is not a solid wall, so that goes from the hall to the vestibule.
Correct, correct. So the hall to the vestibule is open, and each one of these rooms can access it with a door, or you can shut all doors so there's privacy as well. But you can get to both, it'll be a unisex bathroom, 2 of them, that's accessed inside instead of outside.
Does this, okay, so it eliminates, so there'll be a wall on the outside now.
Yes, sir.
So, okay, okay. Because that park now has no restrooms. Winding Hills Park no longer has restroom access.
We would treat it like we do Seacliff, and the restrooms over here during hours, we would have it unlocked for use.
Thank you. You knew where I was going.
So the estimate that the architect gave us by going through and listing out everything that's being suggested, it's coming in around 250,000. I would say 250 to 300,000 for the complete remodel. That includes replacing the HVA systems that need to be replaced. Obviously, we would have to go out and do a bid. We would do a request for bid. So until I do that, I won't know exact numbers. but they're estimating the project to be around 250, 300,000. Could be less.
Okay, and where are we in the process? Are we getting ready to bid this?
If you guys don't have any comments or I just wanted to get this in front of you first before I actually start that process.
All right, to the rest of the board, do we want a chance to review these plans before we make a vote on this? Or do you want to keep us moving on this now?
I want to readdress your question, Dan, about the bathrooms. Because now there is no bathroom, unless I misunderstood, now there's no bathroom over there at all for patrons to use.
No.
Where's the bathroom?
It's an access way.
Where?
It currently is 2 doors that are accessed outside in the back.
Currently, right, but
So currently, we can go down there, if something's not set, we can use the bathroom.
If we haven't locked it, yes, sir.
Yeah, and with this new process, there's no way to use the bathroom without accessing one of the 3 rented
Suites, right.
suites, etc. I'm wondering if it might be thought to maybe add another door there.
There is a door on the back of the plan to take you to that hallway that leads to the restroom. So if
Can you point over there at yours and I'll find it here? No, I'm serious, I'm not trying to be a jerk.
yeah, no,
Hold on.
Because I don't see a door to the outside that doesn't go through one of the suites. Goes
And
through-
now that I'm
it
looking at
does
it, it's
into
right.
the main
Yeah,
room.
I don't see one
Yes,
either.
in that hallway.
So what I'm suggesting is we move that door from there to the hallway.
Okay.
And then you could have access to the bathroom without having to go through any of the suites. And now we have something that's used, or not used, that's more usable.
More useful
I
and
get
secure.
what Steve is trying to get at is currently in the plan, you would have to leave one of 2 rooms open so that you could access it
Right.
from outside.
Let me see if I can get the architect, because right here where the vestibule is,
Right.
see if maybe they can leave a door there.
Either there or in that hallway someplace,
Okay.
so that it's accessible from the park side of the building.
I don't know if the hallway will work because of that giant window, but we can figure
Totally
something out.
understood.
And if it cost us 2 more doors,
No, well, I think,
yeah, but I mean, if we could close off that hallway,
No, it makes
we
sense.
could open another door to the outside in front of the water fountains.
well, that's what it says, like right there at the vestibule where it shows the high, low, and the sink.
That's now windows.
Well, okay.
On what we're proposing and what we're doing right now.
On this plan, if you look at the revised plan, AED 201D,
Yes, sir.
all right, and you go up and you look at the vestibule, the green section to the north or south of the unisex restrooms. That is currently, in today's world, the opening that accesses the 2 bathrooms.
Correct.
So Katie said she would look to see if the architect could leave an access door there
Correct.
so that they can access that way. Correct.
And if we put it, and I'm not asking to change the world, but if there was a door down that hallway, then you would be able to secure that whole thing. I don't really care, but I do believe that we need to have the opportunity to have that bathroom open.
Correct.
If we decide to expand and do something.
Exactly, and I think that what Katie is saying would accomplish that task.
Yeah, and I think if we added the door there, we can secure these doors to the main rooms.
Correct. And
So that way
then the facility is secure, but the restrooms are available. That's what we're trying to get to.
So if we can get that thought going, I'm clearly,
Do you think they could make that modification, get it back to us, say by the July date?
Well, you don't have a meeting in July.
Yeah, yes, we do. We do have a meeting in
I'm
July.
sorry. Yeah,
Hello.
yeah, I'm sorry.
What's
I'm
wrong with
skipping
our
a whole
calendar?
Wishful thinking, I guess. Yeah, I think so. I'll get with them, for sure.
Okay, and The reason why I'm doing that, good on you, Steve. The reason why I'm doing that too, I want to make sure that this doesn't have any major impact on our fee or pricing either, on our 250 to 300. I understand we're looking at a $50,000 difference,
Yeah, yeah.
but when you start talking about cinder block, you know, doorways, so on and so forth, it starts to get up there in cost because you're talking about structural changes.
Yeah, I feel like it would be less because it's already open.
That's what I'm thinking too, but you know,
Yeah.
I'm not an architect,
That's right.
so.
Could do that for sure.
Does that work for you?
It does. I have one more question about this entire thought process here. Do we have enough chairs and tables over there to make this useful?
To make,
This process useful? I know that at times I've gone over there because we meet over there a couple times a month. I've gone over there and it's been a challenge to find a chair at times and it's been different. So
oh, that's something I think we can modify because if I'm not mistaken, there are still tables and chairs sitting in the Buildings and Grounds building, which you would recognize as Station 2, right? That could be pulled out of there and placed into the facility. However, Steve, when we say this, can we not load the place up with furniture before we start demoing?
no, I just want to make sure that we have thought about making sure that we have enough chairs. And
Oh,
tables,
yes.
Because at some point they had talked about getting rid of the extra stuff.
Yeah, no, nobody, we did not approve that yet.
That's good.
Surplus has not been approved at this time, so,
Dan, I'd like to make a comment.
absolutely.
I'm gonna throw back to several months ago when some of us requested to tour these projects that, I mean, there's several of us that are new on here, and I know I've the one who's not been in the Creative Arts Center now, and I know, I've heard this is definitely a needed project, but I'd like to see it now so I can understand the plans to what it's gonna become.
You're asking about the building tours
Yes.
that we were supposed to be having. Exactly. I don't know what happened with
I do
that.
have an update for that. We spoke with legal. They would prefer that we do those one-on-one with each board member instead of the entire board going on the tour. So that is something that we can schedule through the district office. If you want to call and schedule it to your availability, we'll make that happen.
Okay, because the last time we did it, it was the group, it was all of the board members, and we went from building to building and just walked them all.
Yeah. That was the advice we were given from the legal department.
Yeah, sunshine.
Yeah, it's the sunshine, it's harder to record, it's
Oh,
harder to capture.
oh, got it,
It's
got
Yeah,
it.
it's a problem.
Got
Even
it.
3 notes, we have to do our full
Council
tour.
meeting,
one
and it was.
Happy to do those tours.
There was the answer right there. It's
Yeah.
like, no, you can't have all those monkeys walking around together.
But like Katie was saying, if you call the office, you know, we'll definitely schedule a one-on-one tour.
And yeah, you can call and schedule it. We have Miguel here all week. Anytime you're available to swing by, the buildings are always
Right.
available to be toured.
Did you get all that, Amber? While he was chewing your ear off, they were answering your question.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good, you're good.
You gotta go by yourself.
If you just contact the office, we'll make ourselves available to whenever you're available. We can tour the building with you.
Great, thank you.
Absolutely.
Does that work for you?
I have a question. So has this already been approved that we're doing this?
The renovation absolutely was approved. We haven't approved these plans.
It's part of the 5-year.
It's part of the 5-year plan.
Okay.
You have not received a copy of the 5-year plan?
I don't know. I don't believe so.
You have not Katie, can we make this happen, please?
Absolutely, I'd love to.
It's just, I don't know.
Yeah, we sat here for months going over the 5-year plan. It's been in the process now for like 2 years.
I guess I should have.
No, that
Came here.
that, sir, falls right here. That was an error made by me, and I apologize, both of you. Because you can't do the job if you don't have all the tools. So my apologies to both of you.
I believe it was sent out with the budget. If you got the email with the budget, approved budget, it should have had the 5-year plan with it, but we'll double check. We'll resend it regardless, absolutely.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Just my concern with this is we're doing all this work to a building that I feel like 95% of the citizens aren't going to use this building. How are we?
Actually, it gets a lot of use because of all of the clubs that use it.
How many clubs are there?
This entire list. So Domino's uses it, so poker uses it, D&D uses it, quilting uses it,
Pins and
Fibercraft.
Fibercraft uses it.
The garden club uses it, pins and needles.
Not that, I mean, so it
Oh.
used to be,
Okay.
just a little history, it used to be where the gym was, and it was used constantly. And then we outgrew the gym, and moved the gym to where the gym is currently. And they took it over and they started using it, but it was also, at the same time, was where the
Creative art, or
ceramics.
ceramics was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there is an opportunity, go ahead and say it, oh, we know it's you, say it. There's an opportunity that this could become a destination.
The goal is to make it a rentable facility, so we
Yeah.
want it to look presentable for birthday parties, retirement parties, corporate events, things like that.
Correct. Did that answer your question?
Yeah.
And we'll make sure that both of you get a copy of the 5-year plan, because that is important. Amber, you did receive yours, right? Okay. Anything else? All right, the next one that we wanted to find out what's going on is our geo reports and updates, please.
We don't have a geotech report for the community center yet, that actually is due to us tomorrow.
I thought that they were gonna have for the community center, right?
The community center
This
will come
building.
tomorrow, correct?
My understanding was that they were reboring. Have they already done that?
They did, they finished their borings, we're just waiting on their report. They finished, I believe it was 2 days ago, on the
Oh.
borings.
Awesome. Okay, I had not heard anything since that. I mean,
Yep, we just got notification that it was the 19th that they finished the borings and they'll have a report to us tomorrow.
and do we have an update on the tennis courts and the fillings that need to be done there?
I do, to repair the 2 cracks on the tennis court currently would be just under $6,000, it was $5,094,
We'll call it 6K.
yeah.
And is that coming out of general government?
We haven't had that conversation yet, we wanted to see your taste for fixing it before we went that far.
Well, because I'm not saying that it should, because it is considered a recreation
It is
facility.
recreation, but it
So
is-
I'm thinking, I'm not sure that recreation can take the hit. And I know right now, maintenance cannot. They are so tight right now on their budget, they squeak. So we need to make sure that,
It would be a general because it's a facility.
that's what I was concerned about.
From reserves. At this point, we would have to pull it from reserves if you guys wanted to go ahead and make the
Well, I
repair.
think it needs to be done. I mean, I don't know about the rest of this board, but I've been getting all kinds of questions about when they're gonna reopen
Okay.
the tennis
I
courts.
mean, that, and that and the trail, the walking trail is pretty much the only thing over there for a vast majority of the population here from 9 o'clock in the morning, and now school's out. And I asked this question before, there's no way we can use insurance to pay for this, right?
Not on
No.
that one, sir.
No.
We had tried.
Yeah, it just, it falls on us. Yay.
But, I mean, we paid to have it fixed not that long ago, less than a decade ago. We paid a lot of money,
Mm.
a lot of money.
I think part of the issue is that when it was initially put in, when they first created or built Seacliff Park, I don't think that it was built to code then. I don't think that now it would be what code would expect. I don't think there's a lot of rebar in that concrete. I think it was formed and poured back then. Neither was I.
Yeah,
about
if the board wants to have it repaired, we'll absolutely get it repaired. It'll come out.
Is this something that you need voted on?
I don't need voted on, I just wanted to make sure the board was okay with it.
What's our consensus?
Yeah, it's gotta be fixed.
Motion to
Yeah.
have it fixed, I think, that,
I make the motion, we have the tennis courts.
Okay, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I second.
I have a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Thank you.
There you have it. Okay. We're going to talk about event signage now. And I reviewed the two options that we have. But now I'm going to come back and I'm going to put a little bit of pressure on the finance team down here. Because initially when we started this conversation about the signage, it was really about getting the word out about the programs and the events that were going on here. When we talk about the signage that we're talking about putting in now, I don't think we have it in our budget, which means that this should have been, we should have moved a lot faster on this, because I think now at this point, I don't know, Chad, can we still add something to our budget for next year?
You cannot add to the budget, no, sir. But if it's something that we want to spend, I can make a request. Are you talking about just some?
We're talking about the signage that we've been batting back and forth now for what, 2-3 months?
Or more than that.
Yeah, and you know, that displays the events and things that are currently going on within RLE.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
We had initially discussed, you know, doing digital signage, which we said, no, that's one, expensive, two, ridiculous to maintain, and in other areas, they have not had great luck with it. So we opted to go with a static sign with letters and numbers that we could manually change depending upon the program and or the event. So with that being said, I forget, I don't have it handy. I think, what wasn't it, like 12,000?
I don't think it was that much.
Anyway, I thought it was around 10. I have it at home, I'm sure. But
Did
we
it come from our office?
Yes, it did.
I think you're looking more like, it was like 1,500. It wasn't.
There
It
it
wasn't.
goes.
Yeah, it
I knew
wasn't.
there was a 12 something.
Yeah, 1,500,
Yeah.
something along those lines.
All right, yeah, let me look at, something like that, I think we can probably figure out how to expend without going and adding it to the budget. We can pull it out of operating or something like that. Are you guys still talking, because I missed the last meeting. I know like down in Summerfield where I live, Brown's Farm, if anybody's familiar with that, he has these really big wood structures that kind of look like they're a fancy sign, and he just changes the banner on that sign. Is that what we're talking about?
I'm talking about this.
So you're talking about like a mark, like a national
Yeah, it's a
mark.
marquee sign.
So now we have an issue. Because I thought we'd be able to put that on the island. And I think we need to. Because if it doesn't go on the island, then where are we going to put it? Because we don't own property.
No, but I also know that Kent, who has the Denellen feed store, had offered to us to use part of that where the farm swap used to be. We could use.
Last time talk to him about that.
I think that was in September, October.
His situation has changed.
Yeah, he is no longer,
Okay, so then
There.
we'd have to find out where we could put it. So,
I mean, maybe we have an honest discussion. I don't know how to do this, so I'm just speaking. Maybe somebody has an honest discussion with the realtor.
yeah,
Because he's
that's
the
an
only one
option.
that owns a piece of that is not owned by Feed and Grain. So Feed and Grain owns 10 acres.
Right.
The road, they don't own the medical center, but they own all the way up to the next asphalt road. And so the realtor owns that one section there. And if we could add to that at whatever the rental cost is or whatever, that would be really, really good. And then that solves the problem with code enforcement trying to put something in the island and definitely not trying to put something on the right of way.
Exactly, because our current signage posts are in the right of way.
Yeah.
The unfortunate part is that even when we put our little banners up there for our events, you can't see them anyway because they're behind the watch for deer sign.
So I don't know how to do that.
Yeah,
I I mean, I'm asking maybe staff is the legal people to go ask that question, and maybe not, maybe it's just something we don't want to entertain, but there are 4 pieces of property, 5 pieces of property that are all really good, that I think that we should ask to put a sign on, and let them tell us no, because you know what? Circle K, we used to have a sign there for 40 years, almost 50 years.
Correct.
And we just didn't want to spend the money to fix the sign. And so the sign was taken down.
It's a conversation we can have. I would also encourage you to think about how much we're spending on a sign that we're putting on someone else's property that we can't control what happens.
Well,
Would we still want it to be a lit marquee sign if we're putting it on someone else's property, or do we want, like Chad's describing?
I go this way. If we have a great conversation with the realtor, tell him what we want to do, and he says, sure, go ahead. You guys have to pay the electricity. Well, we just want everything. If we go to Trucking Good Burgers or whatever, and they say, well, we want you guys to pull the permit, we want you guys to run electricity, then we have to come back and ask that question, because they want their property improved, and they want to do it at our cost, and maybe we get a 10-year lease for $1. But we haven't asked, so we don't know. But we do know that we can't put it where I thought was going to be a good place.
Correct, and I mean, that we do have a little bit of negotiation with them because they do pay into the assessments as well, and they are business properties paying into the assessments. So I think that does give us a little bit of wiggle room and opens the door for some decent negotiations with them.
And I believe that, I don't know that the store there, whatever you want to call it, they've now marked off their leach field to ensure that nobody parks there. So their leach field is now just completely open. We don't ever have to worry about the cars there. Right past the parking lot, they have an entire leach field right there for their septic system, and they're not letting anybody park there anymore.
Yeah, they just put it in, just put a new one.
Oh, is this the Truckin' Good Burgers place? Okay. I wasn't aware of that.
They're not putting anything there on the grass. And
Here's the problem. I am sorry. It's not like I go out the front of this place very often. The traffic on 41 makes me very nuts.
And I believe that they are a friend of Rainbow Lakes. So I don't know. I don't know anything about the new realtor over there. But
I don't either.
We'll do some research.
All right, so, and then we can come back, because I mean, I have an opinion of where I land on the sign thing. It's like there were two different ones that were proposed, and I kind of lean towards the first one myself, so, but we can come back to that at a later time once we figure out where this thing is gonna go.
Some county-owned property would be the Denellen Recycling Center. I don't know how many people go there, but if most community goes there, that's county property.
Yeah, but it's not our property, and
But it's county.
it is county. We would, again, it would have to open
It's right there.
negotiations.
Yeah, we could have a conversation,
Yeah.
find out the parameters of putting it on their property.
So that gives you a couple of options then.
Yes. I did want to bring up, I know it came up about club signage last time as well, and we
Yes.
struck down their strike sign dreams. I did have an idea, you know how like baseball fields have the big banners in the field? If we got some of those, a little smaller, that could go on this fence out here, and the week of a club meeting, you can hang your banner. I don't know if you guys have a taste.
I'm fine with
So
that.
each club would have to pay for it themselves to have it printed, but then we, staff can hang it the week of their meeting, just for some added visibility.
Yes, exactly. I think that that would work. I think that's exactly what they're looking for.
Okay.
I mean, we already have one sign that funnels the traffic this way. Why not use the fencing that's out there?
Yes.
That's road facing for the signage. Because I'm hoping that we'd start to move on the other project in here too, to reuse and relocate this fencing.
Yeah, re-fence.
All right, I think we are now, if I'm not mistaken, and lost. I think we have now made it to the new business portion of our issues, if I'm not mistaken. And currently, we have the emergency plan for activation for the clubhouse and post-event situations. I don't think we're ready to even discuss this yet. I think that we need to get some guidance from Marion County on this, because it would still, the clubhouse would activate as an emergency facility post-event. We could not use it during an event or
No,
anything like
it-
that because it's not a FEMA certified building.
Yeah, it's not certified.
Correct,
Yeah.
but it could be used after the fact if the majority of our district is without power or, as a relief center for residents.
Yeah, Katie and I were talking about that. When it's time for us to reopen the center, the community center, when the county gives us the green light to open up our facilities again, then yeah, we would absolutely open that up. If the community's without power, obviously our generator would be working. They can come in here, grab some AC, charge a phone.
Yeah,
do whatever.
it was the same thing that I was looking at when we were having the Cow Creek fire because of the Levy County side. I almost had to reach out at that point because we didn't know exactly where it was going, and as it turned out, it went north instead of continuing south.
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, that's just part of our daily operations.
Okay,
So it's
could we
time for us
then let's do this. Can we please get a copy of the county's emergency plan as it would pertain to our facilities?
Yeah.
That way we have
Absolutely.
something in the files documented.
Yep. I think we already have it.
Dan, is there another MSTU that is doing what we're proposing, or what we're proposing?
Well, I don't know about an MSTU, but this is a district, and it does have a little bit of different rules.
I'm just, I'm just, instead of trying to rebuild something, if Marion Oaks is already doing this, let's find out what Marion Oaks is doing.
That's why I was reaching out to them.
So our
Like you
facilities
said,
would
they
follow
have it.
Marion County, so when it's time to shut down we'll use a hurricane. When it's time to shut down for the hurricane, all of our non-essential staff goes home. After the hurricane, we activate our roads crew, they come out here, make sure everything is clear. Then we open up the community center as normal business.
So there's all the other pieces that go with that. So where's all the water coming from? Do we have enough chairs? And obviously we have the chairs, and how, the staff's gonna put these things up, and what else are we going to provide that the county says we need to provide? My biggest thing is, water. Then comes the other stuff, it's pouring down rain, they walk in here, they're soaking wet, what are we gonna do? Sit in the corner in the air conditioning? My question is there anybody else that's already doing this, what we're proposing to do? So we should maybe look at that, because okay. And so, sheriff's office is the one that runs all that stuff, followed by the fire department, so we probably need to have a conversation with them, or y'all need to have a conversation.
It's important to remember, we can't operate as a full shelter. We're nowhere near medical resources. We're nowhere near food. We're nowhere near emergency water. We cannot staff something in that situation either. So this is during normal business hours, you can come get some power and use our public restrooms. Would be more our place for that.
That's great if that's what we're saying.
And
That's what we're
pretty
talking
much
about.
the
That's what we're saying.
end.
And
There
that's-
would be no overnight, there would be no extra staffing,
No.
there would be no,
That's all good.
It's a relief center, basically.
And I believe that there's some organizations that would want to be involved with this, talk offline.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Put whatever you want together. And then you can, the board would love to take a look at it.
Well, the scouts would love to be part of that.
Well, put a proposal together, bring it to the board.
Yep. All right.
I have a question regarding the diversity plan. Is there a possibility we could reach out to like SECO and for EOC and have them like lease the property for a staging area, or have them here in the community so they can prepare?
I think
Or-
there was a discussion about that in the past, and part of the issue is that our facilities don't qualify for what they would need. Now, staging facilities, yeah, I mean, but we have limited area. I mean, a lot of it is privately owned, and we don't have authority to park power trucks or anything else on private property.
Yeah, I was just thinking the county property, but it would be nice to have Seco trucks already here during
Right.
the event of a hurricane. And if they run out of areas, this area doesn't flood, obviously, because it's pretty high, and we got the lake.
Correct. Correct. I mean, we could put that out there, but I mean, it's really up to them of where they want to stage their equipment.
Yeah, we
And
can
Seco
bring,
does reach out to the county and has relationships like that, like at McPherson Complex, they've used those fields before. So they already have that connection, they know we're here. And this site is registered for sandbags. If a hurricane is mapped to come through here, it would be a sandbag pickup site, as all our community centers are. So we have some of those in place already.
Is that here, or is it the maintenance?
I believe it's,
Probably, it hasn't happened yet, it would probably be at Sea Cliff, because there's an easy way for cars to get in and out without blocking traffic.
that's what I thought.
But it's not every storm that comes through, not every time they're passing out
No,
sandbags,
no.
there's a
No,
danger
we-
zone where they would.
We've never done it before,
Yeah.
that's great, yeah.
Okay, are we there? Okay. All right, we're going to talk about prior meeting updates and input. If the board members have any updates or follow-ups to previous items that they want to bring up, now would be the time to do that. Anybody? Come on, guys.
Don't have
I can't be the only one, right?
I was gonna, okay.
Go ahead.
Kathy, did you talk about the Lego Club?
No.
No? And what did you say about the trail walkers? Do we have a new program called Trail Walkers? Would have been the first or second thing that you said.
Morning Miles is doing a trail walk together. They're doing an off-site trail.
Say it again, please.
Morning Miles is going to happen at an off-site trail.
Awesome. Okay, I'm good. I'm caught up. Thank you.
All right, then I had a couple of things. The water report for the fire station, Station 14. Did you get a copy of that report?
Yes, I got a copy of the report from the rec center and replied back that this is for the rec center and they do
No,
not.
they did another one.
Did not, I'll have to go back to look.
Okay, can we make sure that the office, make sure that Steve gets a copy of that? I know that the most recent one was, the one that you got, there was an issue with that because the address on the report was incorrect.
Okay.
So they had to send out another test set that has been done, submitted, and returned. So we need to make sure that he gets a copy of that.
What did it say?
Everything passed.
Good. I mean, so that's great. I'm glad to hear.
Yeah, but we got to close the loop on these things. You requested that, I want to make sure you get a copy of that.
Thank you, sir.
And then I wanted to ask Katie for a status on an item that I have been asking you now for 2 years. The trigger has hit. Where are our mailers?
We should be able to do them this summer. I do have to check the balance in our mailing. I put it in there. And we'll have to get that cost on the mailing.
I want this off my list.
Yeah, I can pull a new report for new residents that have come in and send those out. We'll have to see how many that turns out to be and we get the.
That's the thing. That's one of the things I want to find out
Yeah,
is
absolutely.
where are we with the count now?
Yeah.
Because we know that the prior counts that we had were flawed.
Right.
So let's see what we come up with going this route. So this whole project is multifaceted. It's not just to get the word out about what these people have purchased into, but also how many people are we servicing?
Mm-hmm. I'll have those numbers for the July meeting.
All right, that's the end of my list. So now we have made it to public comment section. Miss McKay.
I was playing Candy Crush, sorry.
You're not making points with me. You're playing Candy Crush? and I'm up here talking to an empty
I
room.
can multitask.
Hey,
I was listening. Marcy McKay, 3764 Southwest Bluegill Road. Two things. The first one is kind of comical, listening to you guys all talk about the Creative Arts Center and not loading it down with furniture. Well, I was planning on asking for 2 more tables because we're falling all over each other. We just don't have enough room. We can move the tables around to where we can use them, but as it is right now, I usually have anywhere between 6 and 10 people, and we use 4 of the tables for cutting and pinning, and we don't have enough room.
So how many tables do you have in there currently?
2, 4, 6, 8, we have 10. There are 10 tables.
And is that in the entire section that you
That's
have?
the entire 3 rooms, yes. There's 3 rooms.
And how many more tables do you?
We only want 2 more. And they're the rectangular tables like these. I mean, we're gonna be over there for a while yet, aren't we? When are you guys gonna move us out to start?
We don't
Yeah.
have that yet.
Yeah, so we're gonna be there for quite a while yet. So we could use just 2 more rectangular tables, hopefully some that aren't warped.
Okay,
That's
easy
it.
on the wish list.
That's it, that's the only wish I have.
Can we try and get the creative people a couple more tables?
Absolutely.
We've got
Thanks.
plenty of chairs, there's lots of chairs in the closet.
Well, then what are you worried about? What kind of chair?
Well, he was worried about chairs, I'm just trying to take
I'm worried
it.
that you don't have everything you need. Obviously, you don't.
Yeah, we just need 2 tables, and that would make all of us old ladies really happy. So, okay, then the only other thing I have is, hang on a second.
Drum roll, please.
Run away.
So sorry.
Get out there, you.
They came out nice.
We have for Lieutenant Moore to take and pass out for the patrol cars to take and give to children when they go on a call, and there's a little one there that's crying. My ladies on Monday, nobody else could come tonight, but we've made another batch of teddy bears for you, so these are for you. I do have some bags in here, so you don't have to try and wrestle, unless you'd like to. They're really soft and squishy, and they're quite fun.
I'm like, I want to see this officer wrestle teddy bears in the back of his cruiser.
So I have some bags, and I will put them in a bag for you.
I appreciate it, and we just ran out last
perfect.
month, so,
There's about 30 here.
okay, perfect timing.
And like I said before in the past, if you get to the point where you're starting to run out, reach out to me.
Okay,
We have a blast making these things.
and we appreciate it.
So.
It does help.
Okay.
Thank you.
How many times have they done this?
Twice. This is the second time.
This is the second load?
This
Mhm.
makes 70 that we've given.
So have we made it into the Riverland News about this?
I'm happy to take another picture and post it on our Facebook page.
No, that's not good enough. I'm not trying to be mean.
No, I know.
But this, the Cub Scouts are in the news every quarter, and they're not doing this. We gotta make sure that we get some
Next time.
recognition. No,
Next-
we'll work, but that's amazing. I think it's really good.
It's really quite amusing when we do this. You should hear all of us in there giggling and laughing and just having a wonderful time taking and cutting these things up and giving everybody their own little personality. So it's fun, and we have fun doing it.
Good job.
All right, do we have anybody else that would like to speak?
Tony was signed up, yes.
Hello, everyone. I'm Tony Ramachetti. I live at 20154.
Can you turn that thing on so we can all hear you really?
Can you hear me better?
No.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm Tony Ramachetti at 20154 Southwest Rainbow Boulevard. Down on the right-hand side, I have an American flag that usually hangs out there. I would like to just mention that, first of all, I really appreciate our sheriff's department. But unfortunately, we continuously have speeding trucks buses. I came from the Freightliner industry. I was the continuous improvement manager for the entire company. I also was the corporate warranty manager. So I know what these vehicles can do if they hit something. And quite frankly, I've complimented the sheriff department personnel that have stage sitting on the road to kind of like keep people honest, but they usually show up between 11 and 12:30. If you want to improve I guess the resistance to speed, start ticketing the people. Because I have clocked people going by at 70 miles an hour, full big rigs of rock, concrete, you name it, I've seen it go by. We have a lot of kids now. I've been watching this the last couple of weeks. More kids are skateboarding on their electric bikes and things like that. Someone's going to get killed out there. And I'm very concerned because I have 2 boys of my own. I worry about them. They live in a different state. So, and I just moved here just a few months back. So I would really appreciate if we could maybe address that. I know you have the flashing sign, but everybody just gives it the bird as they go by. And it's unfortunate because you guys are doing the best you can. You only have 6 patrol officers, so I get all that. But I just think that someone's going to get hurt, and I think the roads are very unsafe, at least on Southwest Boulevard. We don't enforce 30-ton trucks. I see trucks bigger than that go flying by here all the time, or 10-ton trucks. So if we could, that would be really appreciative. So, thank you very much. Okay, thank you.
Carol, are you going to come up? No? You have paperwork for me? No? I thought you were going to put together that, the program for your garden club. You did it already? You turned it into the office? Thank you. I appreciate that. Anybody else have anything? Okay, if that's it, anybody up here?
So we make an appointment with the office for tours. Okay.
Yes.
Well, get me on the next one. I definitely want to do it.
Okay,
There's still buildings I haven't been in.
absolutely.
So I've been on the board almost 3 years now.
Megan is covering our front desk. I'll have her give you a call and she
Okay.
can put that on the calendar.
Okay, you got my number.
I do have one thing. When you said-
Absolutely.
Can I make appointments with you guys for my deputies to be able to get tours of the buildings? So they know that when a call for service comes in and they say, this is the community building, this is the
Yeah.
creative center, this is that, they can actually know physically where it is, what the doors are, the entrances.
Sure.
It will help us out with our response times and also that we're going to the right places.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll send you an email and we can connect on that.
Okay.
That was an awesome question, because I know a lot of the old timers around here, they're like, well, where is this? Oh, well, it's over in the park by the Creative Arts Center. Well, that's great. Can you give me an address on that? And it's like, no, they don't know what that address is. So, thank you. That was a good question. All right, before our next board meeting, we have the adult night out on June 4th that meets here in the community center at 5:30. We have the meet and eat grill and chill June 5th right here at the community center. I hope to see a lot more residents. Coffee and conversations will be on Wednesday, June 10th at the district office. Makers Monday, June 15th at the community center. We then have a public hearing to consider the tentative adoption of our budget for Rainbow Lakes Estates. That will be on June 18th. That is with the BOCC, and it is here in the community center at 10 o'clock. That meeting will replace our normal board meeting, so we will not be having ours, but I'm hoping to see as many of us as possible to come and visit with our commissioners. So, the next advisory board will be July 16th here, 6:30 in the community center. And for those of you in the audience, please pick up copies of your communicator so that you can get those out to your friends, relatives, and neighbors. I'd appreciate it. Let's get the programs and events advertised as much as we can. It's our responsibility as well. Yes, sir.
Since I'm new.
You gotta come up, I'm sorry. Remember, this is all part of record.
Since I'm part of the community now, I don't know where everything is. We did join the gym, okay, so we got the gym, but I don't know all these programs that you're talking about. I usually go online and look up goodies and stuff like that, but you're talking about handouts and stuff. I don't know where I can.
At the door, there should be, I didn't.
There is.
Is it there?
Huge rack of stuff.
Oh, I see it there
Take
now.
one of everything.
Okay.
It's amazing.
The
And
communicator is published once every 3 months.
Okay.
You can actually have it delivered to your residence. You have to sign up for that delivery.
Okay.
It's also available online on the RLE website. It also appears on our Facebook page. But the communicator, it gives you a snippet of everything that's going on for that 3 months. Club dates, events, and so on. And you said you moved here how long ago?
Just a couple months ago.
You gotta come to our meet and feed.
That's the wife
Meet
and I have been
me.
trying to figure out where do we go to these things, and so. we're
Right,
looking-
well, that one will be held here.
Okay.
And all you need is your ID showing that you are a resident here.
Right, got that.
And we feed you for free.
I'm Italian, I can eat all day, so that sounds.
Oh, you missed it. You missed the Italian night already. We're summertime now. It's burgers and brats.
Perfect, perfect. And if there's anything I can do to help the community, I'd like to be able to volunteer.
We're
too.
always looking for volunteers. Please, sign up at the office. They have,
Where is that
actually,
office?
there used to be in that rack that I just referred to the communicator in, there should be a document in there for you to fill out to become a volunteer
Yeah, the
here.
wife and I would like to do that.
Perfect. It
Use some
goes
of our
up.
experiences.
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
It's different experiences that we all come with that make this district what it is and the community what it is. So, absolutely welcome.
Sounds good, thank you.
Okay.
Mhm.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to ask a question about the gym. We have several machines there that are either broken or inoperable. 2 treadmills now, totally useless. They might as well be turned into boat anchors. They don't work at all. The Nordic track hasn't worked for quite some time. The other one, you stand on it, start it up, and it starts, and it'll go really fast, and then stop, and really fast, and stop. So I unplugged it, so it's not safe to use. We shouldn't be using this stuff. What is gonna be done about, if Miguel cannot fix the darn things, we need to get this stuff fixed because it's not safe.
Yeah, we had Miguel work with Nordic Track, like their online support, to try and troubleshoot it. He was unable to. I did call our facility technician last week to come look at it from another community center because he's more familiar with them. He was unable to, so at this point I'm reaching out to a vendor for the Nordic Track or to see if we just have to replace it. I wasn't aware of the second one also not working.
The second one's not working. I
Okay.
unplugged the thing and somebody plugged it back in. It still doesn't work.
Okay, that might have been Miguel trying to troubleshoot it. I hadn't heard about that one yet, so I'll double check on those. So we'll
Okay.
either fix them and
And,
let you know what that cost is, or look at
the thing is,
replacement.
some of that stuff is getting either to its limits or it just needs rebuilds. Some of the equipment, like back in the back room, some of that stuff, the bearings on them, the bushings on them are shot. And those kinds of things, if there's repairs like that, that's something that's not really complicated, but it needs to be done. And it's just things like that, and I just don't want to see anybody get hurt.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We'll make a repair list and start working on those, and then if it comes to replacement, we'll let you know the cost of that. And
Okay.
maybe reevaluate some things
Okay,
and some
thank you.
priorities.
Well, I know that we had money set aside not long ago, I think it was before the turn of the year, that we were looking at purchasing free weights. And now that we're having issues with the current equipment, we may have to table that and repurpose those funds because we have to at least have the machines up and running.
Yeah.
So
Great.
that's unfortunate, but it is what it is.
Thank you, Katie.
Of course.
Anything else? All right, meeting is adjourned.